Hello, welcome to this interview, Professor Bäuerle. We're happy to have you here. And congratulations on the Emil Fischer Medal. Can you say a few words, please, what it means to you to receive this award?
Yeah, hello, Frau Köster. It's a great pleasure to have this interview. And first of all, I'm definitely very proud and delighted and feel very honored to have received this prestigious award, the Emil Fischer Medal, which you can see here. I hope it's visible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And certainly I'm very grateful to GDCh for recognizing our work, especially on behalf of our great team of current and former group members. I had always the great fortune to work with many excellent students, PhD students, postdoc and institute members over the many years of my career. And it's clear without them, all the scientific achievements wouldn't have been possible. And each of them has contributed very important results to the success of our research. Yeah, and furthermore, it's certainly a great honor to be somehow related with this famous name of Emil Fischer. His outstanding achievements more than 100 years ago are still important for us. And in his work, namely the example of his discovery of the key lock principle, which is the basis of modern supramolecular chemistry, because in this respect, supramolecular ordering and non-covalent intermolecular interactions of molecules in solid play an important role in the development of novel materials.
So can you say a few words about your research, please, for a broad audience?
Yeah, we always try to, first of all, to synthesize new molecules, but with interest in pi conjugated systems. So during my whole scientific career, I have been interested not only in the sometimes very complex synthesis of pi conjugated systems, but also in understanding and exploring their properties, their functions, and all this is important for their application as materials in organic electronic devices. And here, for example, we are quite active in developing materials for organic solar cells. Currently, we are working on various aspects of developing novel organic materials. These are, first of all, the design and development of synthesis routes to potentially interesting molecules with light absorbing and charge transport properties. And in more detail, in this respect, we currently mainly work on CH-activated direct arylation reactions for the more economical and important coupling of pi conjugated building blocks to more extended pi systems. Then we still work on the development of novel absorbers for organic solar cells. In this case, on molecular diodes and triads, which are synthetically tailored for so-called single material organic solar cells, which combine the two components which you need for a solar cell in one molecule. This is an electron donor as a p-type semiconductor and an electron acceptor as an n-type semiconductor. Typically, in normal organic solar cells, they are mixed together, and we have now them covalently connected to each other in one molecule. Yeah, at the end, furthermore, we also have fun projects in which we try to prepare sterically highly overloaded benzenes or acenes and curiously look for their chemical and physical properties without having any application in mind.
And fun projects, that sounds really great. So how important are they for research?
They are very important in the sense that you try to develop new materials without the aim of having an application immediately in mind. So putting new molecules together, and at the end we look for the properties, and maybe there is something what is interesting at the end. Mm-hmm. And our people like these fun projects more. You can estimate than directed projects along a proposal, for example.
Mm-hmm. And is there a project which is most fun for you, or you're most proud of, maybe, or all the same?
Yeah, so that's a difficult question. Maybe I begin indeed that thiophenes became always our working horses already at the end of the 1980s, when I started independent research. And at that time, it was not to foresee that thiophenes nowadays are such widely used as building blocks in organic electronic materials. Therefore, our contribution to thiophene chemistry was the continuous development on increasingly complex oligomers, starting from a 1D linear oligomer, so series of them, to the first fully conjugated cyclic conjugated macrocycle, even interlocked catenanes or large dendritic structures were realized. And always we look for the defined structure and, as the physicists say, monodispersity of the molecular architectures, which maybe afford more synthesis steps compared to polymers, but provide a defined structure and reproducibility. And I'm especially content that we were keen from the very beginning of this research to learn more about the detailed molecular structure by investigations, for example, with scanning probe microscopies such as STM or AFM.
Mm. And do you also have collaborations with industry then?
Yeah, we had industry collaborations, for example, with Heliatech company producing organic solar foils, or also with chemical companies like Merck and so on. And yeah, this is as well important. However, the collaboration with industry became more and more difficult, and sometimes was unidirectional with respect to the exchange of knowledge due to IP, so intellectual property restrictions, and finally financing from the companies.
Mm. And you just mentioned Heliatech GmbH, so you're a co-founder of this company, right?
Yes, I'm co-founder, and the story is quite nice because it shows that also fortune is important for science. And if I remember correctly, in the year 2001 or 2002, there was a one-day BMBF meeting in Berlin on organic solar cells, or on photovoltaics in general. And there was a young physicist, Dr. Martin Pfeiffer. He talked on organic solar cells. And so at the end, he said, there is a quest for new materials. The chemists should do something. So that was his quote. And then after the talk, I went to him and said, Mr. Pfeiffer, I have something for you, maybe. And then a very fruitful collaboration with Professor Leo, this was his boss at that time, and Dr. Pfeiffer from TU Dresden started. And our oligothiophen series, which we sent to them, became better and better in performance, much better what they had before. And based on these results and patents thereof, in 2006, the company Heliatech was founded with 5 other founding members as a 2-person company in the beginning. The challenge still today is to find investors who give money to further develop the product and to grow the company. And now, in the meanwhile, after 16 years, Heliatech employs 270 people, and about 200 million euro invest money flowed into the company. Since this year, beautiful, flexible, lightweight solar foils are mass produced and sold. So money is coming in for the first time.
So great success, yeah. And what did you learn on this, or is there something which then comes back to how you perform your research in your lab because of these experiences you made with this company?
First of all, and what I never could imagine before, is how long the way from a newly developed molecule on the bench to a product is. Certainly, you have to first optimize the materials. There we have feedback loops with the physicists. Then you go for the first prototypes and so on. And then you have to establish the technology to create these foils and these solar foils. And it's a very, very long way with many obstacles and many hurdles. And so it was very interesting to follow that. And as a scientist, I'm very glad that a molecule which we designed and synthesized first on the milligram scale is now in a product. So that's really luck, and it's an extremely long way. I never could imagine before.
Yeah. So what motivates you in your work?
What motivates me in my work? Yeah, one part of the motivation is certainly the possibility to create new things, and in particular new molecules with tailored properties. And if I remember correctly, already as a youngster, I liked colors and drawings, and later as a chemistry student, I was caught by the idea to synthesize an organic molecule in the practical course, which nobody before had synthesized. So that was my idea as a student. Shortly after being a PhD student in real research, I realized that nothing is easier than to create new molecules. And this is still nowadays a huge motivation to get new molecules with specific properties.
And what do you think is important to become a successful researcher?
Yeah, to be successful in research, more or less, cannot really be planned. For sure, you need profound knowledge and good training, so good mentors, passion to the field and the topic, and this perseverance are most important in order to be able to compete with a very quickly expanding science. You need for sure creativity, but also luck is important so that you can contribute something new and outstanding in this extremely rapidly growing field. Therefore, as well, a network with good colleagues and friends with whom you can discuss your research and scientific problems will help. It's difficult to plan. You have to really to work and be really passionate to the field. Yeah.
And how do you promote young talent, maybe in your group, to become successful researchers?
Yeah, first of all, certainly I try to interest them in challenging scientific questions and problems on which they should work and which they should solve in a bachelor, master, or PhD thesis. I certainly try to support them with continuous personal discussions, or we have discussions in weekly seminars. We send them to congresses where they should present their own results and discuss them with other researchers to get a certain feedback. For their further career, I try to get them in contact with other colleagues in research if they want to perform a postdoc, or in industry if they are looking for a job.
And in the fast changing world of research, what do you think, how will research change in the coming years?
How will research change in the coming years? Yeah, definitely what I experienced, and you probably as well at Wiley, is the way of publishing and the publication politics. This means number of papers, numbers of citations, age factors, and all other trials to evaluate the scientific impact or even the value of a researcher became very important and popular since the availability of the corresponding databases. In parallel, as I noticed, in the last 5 years, the overall number of publications dramatically increased, and as well the number of mostly open access journals with sometimes doubtful policy. Yeah? So this is to say that on one hand, it became very difficult to follow all the many publications in your field, in particular in organic electronics. So we have every day 10, 20 papers on organic solar cells, perovskite solar cells, a manifold of papers which appear. And I think, and you might know this better, in the next few years, the publication business will change, in particular with the advent of ChatGPT, which will allow to create papers per pushing the button. Maybe soon one cannot distinguish anymore between original, let's say, handwritten papers and ChatGPT written papers. And I think the publication policy must change in a way so that we who write the papers, who peer review the papers, not feel outsourced more or less. Yeah.
So do you then think we still need written papers? Or maybe there could be another format like, I don't know, maybe data, or maybe we speak more about research?
Yeah, that's an important question. And to be honest, I don't know. So maybe I'm old-fashioned. I like to write papers with results which we achieved in the old way, let's say. But I don't know where we will be in 5 or 10 years.
Yeah, I guess we all don't know.
We all don't know.
But yeah, and in teaching chemistry, I guess maybe there ChatGPT and other AIs will have an effect as well.
Yeah, teaching is a important question because the most profound change was during pandemic. So we had to suddenly give our courses online by creating videos to which we were not used to before. Since we now went back to the normal and hold our chemistry courses, fortunately, in presence again, I think a combination of teaching at the blackboard and videos in the net to support the students is offered. However, I'm convinced that the old-fashioned teaching at the blackboard to draw formula is still essential for chemistry students because they should learn and memorize how to draw structures, molecules, and reactions. That's probably not so much important for other areas. Since you were talking about AI, since a few years there is already AI in research, very, very popular to do, for example, retrosynthesis. And but anyway, we will see how AI will impact organic chemistry. So does it mean for a student he does not have to learn any condensation reaction or so anymore because it's directly available, or is it still necessary that he knows these things to plan syntheses? Will be a challenging time now in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, definitely. So then thank you very much for the interview.
It was a great pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.